I was in Wellington, and Natano was there. They had because Good Hope was in Wellington a lot, but we had so
I just need to stop you there.
Were there a lot.
No, we just need to go down.
Yeah, man.
Saaiman Says.
Weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
With Chad Saaiman.
Only on Good Hope FM.
Chad Saaiman here, and it is Heritage Month, and we kickstart this month's conversations with an incredible artist. He goes by the name that pretty much leans in towards my outfit today and the weather outside. His name is Orion Winter. Welcome to it, Orion. So happy to be speaking to you. Welcome to Saaiman Says, and also happy birthday.
Thank you very much, man. It's awesome to be here, and you know the fact that we're doing this on my birthday, I think is just that's the coolest thing ever, you know. So I'm excited. I'm sure you can tell I'm excited.
I can tell.
I'm so happy.
So,
bro.
you know, I think, you know, as Good Hope FM, it's been a station that's been around as long as you've been making music. It's been a part of your journey at times, and just to have a moment. A big part. To have a moment like this where we come around again, and even for me, growing up as a kid, when some of your tracks came out, I was listening to Good Hope FM and hearing the songs on the station, and I think it might not only be a full circle moment for you, it's also one for me. So really happy to be here. The way we want to do these kind of things, especially when it comes to Heritage Month, is we want to have conversations, not just reminiscing, but also going into, I think, the cultural type of heritage around music in Cape Town. And I want to paint a picture for the listeners and the viewers. I want to firstly know, what was your very first release in terms of music recordings?
The first song that I heard on radio was, I'll never forget that day. It was Love's in Need, and you know, Good Hope played it, and I was in a car park, I think across the street, and all these cars, there was just music everywhere because everybody was listening to the station. It was just crazy, and then all of a sudden I'm standing there, and then here's Love's in Need, and it's like, you know, it was in your head and it was there, and it was an amazing feeling just to hear the song and everybody just vibing to it. It was, so that was the first one, Love's in Need of Love Today, the Stevie Wonder.
The Stevie Wonder cover, right?
Yeah.
And I think the recording process for that must have been so crazy, because when I listened to Love's in Need, your version, you know, there's a lot of layering, there's a lot of harmonies, there's a lot going on. But in the same breath, how do you record a song that you know belonged to Stevie Wonder, and you're about to come do this thing and do it in your own way? Was there ever a sense of, will it be good enough? Did you ever have any doubts around that?
You know, no, at that time my whole vibe was like, you know, I'm gonna kind of try to kill it, until I went and I saw Stevie Wonder live in Michigan, and wow. I sat there and I couldn't. After that, I was like, if I saw him live before recording the song, I don't think I would have attempted it. But for me, it was just, it was my interpretation and my like, I've got a voice that's mine, you know, and I never try to sound like anybody else. And so I just tried to make it mine, and with the choir and everything coming together. And you must remember, we produced that in Lee Downs' garage, you know what I mean? Like, with a small little keyboard. And so we were just, look, we're doing this. So I wasn't scared of anything. I was on a mission, and I put my heart and my soul into it. And I think that's why even till today, people like really like it, because I think the energy of the song, you can feel this guy is like trying to say, look, you know,
we need more love. We need more love, which is such a pertinent message for where we find ourselves today. I mean, back then when you recorded the song, it was a different era, and I think love was needed then. But when you look at where we are now, and today, we look at time, and we look at all the statistics around domestic violence, gender-based violence, all these things.
Yeah.
I mean, the song speaks louder now than it probably did back then.
Yeah, you know, what you're saying is true, and even with the music that I'm doing now, it's based on what's happening, and it's me playing my part. And I think back then, that was also kind of my contribution, because like it's weird because a lot of the stuff that I've been featured on and that's been played on the radio, that's always positive, and it's always about love. The stuff that I did with Kabelo, it's like striving to survive, and you know,
as the world is mine.
The world is mine, and it's there's always that you know, that there's always love, and that's always been the message. I mean, there's other songs there as well that when I listen to it, it's like, you know, because I was young. But the main songs have always been about love, and now that I'm older, I'm very responsible about what I sing and what I put out. I can't just, you know, I'm accountable for what I say and for what I put out into the world. So my new music is all about who I am and where I am and how much I've grown. And, you know, that's the message, you know, love.
I love that.
You know, love.
Paint the picture for us and let us know when you're this young artist, you're known as being a great singer. You now have a hit song out. It's spinning on the radio stations. People are playing it all over. How would you describe the music industry at that time? So you look around and you say, like, you know, what was going on? Who were the other artists? How was your relationship with you know, with Good Hope FM, for example? How was the shows you were playing? What was happening?
Look, man, back then, I personally didn't have a lot of guys that I could go and talk to about, you know, how do you do this and stuff. I was kind of the guy, like, at the front, like, you know, but the guys that I was working with, it's all hip hop guys, and you know, we just had a huge community of just artists, and it didn't matter if you were hip hop or R&B or whatever. We were all together and we were kind of united. And to have Good Hope playing out like our music was cool. I actually, for like 5 seconds, I hosted a little show on Wednesdays. It was like a hip hop show.
Okay.
And but I'm glad people don't remember, because but I mean, you know, that like we had that we were so hungry back then, you know what I mean? But the difference now is you're still hungry, but there's a responsibility. Like, you know what you like, there's certain things that you need to do if you're going to be successful. Or for myself, I cannot speak for myself, if you want to be successful, it needs to be done in a certain way, you know what I mean? Which is, it's exciting, it's scary and things, but it's exciting, you know. I've made some major changes in my life, and the music is just like, it's like the soundtrack to that. And so I'm, you know, that's why I'm just like happy. I'm smiling. I'm like,
yeah, I love that, man. Because I think, you know, to have a long career that stays the same is one of the hardest things. To have longevity at a certain level, you know, making it in the industry is one thing, but maintaining that is probably even harder.
Yeah, and you know, my career has been, I don't know how to describe it, because there's been wonderful highs and horrible lows and stuff, but it's all been part of the journey. And I mean, after Love's in Need, I went and I started doing theater work, because my eye was on the prize, because I wanted to get onto television and all these things, which I eventually ended up doing. So, you know, that's...
Let's talk about that, actually. Let's talk about Backstage, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that, and how did getting on to Backstage, which was such a groundbreaking show at the time, because it was about music, it was about entertainment, it was, you know, it was the perfect show, and I could see you and be like, man, I can relate to this guy.
Yeah.
And that wasn't normal for us here in Cape Town, to look at someone on TV and be like, man, oh, okay. I see this guy, like, I can relate. How was that experience? How was your audition?
I didn't audition. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's why, you know, I've been so blessed. Like, you know, now I'm like, when I sit back and think of my life, I've been so blessed, man. I I was doing musical theater, and then a friend of mine, Tuli, he wrote for TKZ. He passed on, and then I had to go to Joburg, and I ended up staying at KB Mutsilaniani's house, who's on Sivandala now, and because we worked on music, and she was on Backstage, and then they needed a song. But before all of this, I used to hang out at the Backstage studios when they were in Cape Town.
I remember.
When they were in Cape Town, I was there. I was just like, I was just there. And then I go to Joburg and, go to the funeral, and then I'm supposed to leave. On that Sunday, we're chilling, and I see she's in studio and she's writing something. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, no, but my character is breaking up with a prince and we need a song, And so I go outside, and like 20 minutes later, I come inside. I'm like, look, what do you think of this? She loves it. I made sure though that it's a duet. I had to be on there. She loved it. She sent it to the guys. They said, okay, cool, this is cool. Don't go back to Cape Town, come in. And we went in. That was the Monday. The Wednesday we shot it. And then we were in the production office, and I got a phone call from one of my friends, and I started speaking Afrikaans. And those guys were like, what? So you speak Afrikaans like that? And they're like, dude, do you want to be on the show? I'm like,
amazing.
Hey, man.
Amazing. I was like, hey. So you're speaking your normal Afrikaans.
I was speaking to the guys. I was like,
and they,
but like that. I just go to Backstage. And then they like, so that's you. Because they thought that I was something else, because the way that I look and things. So they thought, yes, this guy can sing, he can play. He looks like that, he speaks like that, and blah, blah, blah. And they asked me, and I pretended I played hardball. I was like, hey, Baz.
Things are so
if I really have to, No, but that's how it happened, and
I love that.
I love that. Give me 3 months, and then they said, no, you won. And I was on. Amazing. And I became musical director for the show as well after a while.
What?
Yeah, I did the second theme song I wrote and produced. And
can we add in some applause? We're gonna add in some applause for that. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't bring the applause team.
No, you see, man.
So I love that because it's great just from a cultural perspective. That moment of you speaking your normal Afrikaans that you speak,
being me, and the whole time I was trying to be this guy and then when at the moment I'm myself, they like.
That's when it opened up. I love that. And I think that's such a great message for any of the young artists or other creatives who are listening to this or watching it. I think it's so important to understand that it's often that moment of authenticity that can give you your big break versus the person you creating thinking that's who they want.
And life is so much easier like when you're just yourself, man.
Yeah. I get that.
I love being myself. I'm not Orion Winter. I'm just me. I love it.
I love that.
That works. It just works. Like people, and the thing is, people can see straight through you. People can, and with me, I'm old now, so this is who I am.
Let's talk about Lee Downs and just the journey in terms of him managing you. He has spoken to me about it before, many years ago. Craig Parks has told me a few things around, being involved, getting you some shows within the club space that time. How did it? I think we have a mutual thing with Lee Downs because I don't know if you know this about me. He's the first person to take an old CD, a demo of mine, a song, the first song I ever recorded.
Okay.
In fact, my mother went up to him. She was a lot more confident than I am and was, and gave it to him and says, "Lee Downs, you have to listen to my son's song."
Oh, that's awesome.
He ended up being the first person to play me on the radio.
That's
and I will
awesome.
never forget that. How was your relationship? Like, how did it happen? How did he end up managing or working with you?
Look, I was in Wellington, and Nathano was there. They had because Good Hope was in Wellington a lot, but we had so.
I just need to stop you there.
They were there a lot.
Nathano, we just need to go down.
Yeah, man. Like that man also. That man.
Yeah. Nathano
I have to give props, man. You have to give props. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Same,
he's there, and we at this club, and so. Now it's Nathano, Lee Downs, and these other guys in the DJ booth, and then there's the band playing on stage. And I'm thinking, these are the guys. This is my look. Here's an opportunity, like literally here in front of me in the booth. So every time when the band's playing, but every time the guy starts singing, there's two guys and a girl. But every time the young guy starts singing the songs that the popular songs, I'm like blowing and I'm standing under the DJ booth, but I'm like, and after a while they're like, dude. So they stop the whole thing and they're like, to the band, they're like, can this guy do a song? But and I'm giving myself away now, but this is the truth.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, I need to get out. This is the moment. Yeah. And if it didn't matter what this guy was singing, I was like, and then you said, go.
So you out singing him,
I'm
but
not
you
saying
standing
that
on the floor for them. No, I'm saying what I mean by that is
that he was a reference. They could
from a volume
now.
Perspective. He had a microphone.
He had a microphone with the band.
And you were just singing.
Here. I'm blowing. I wasn't singing. I was blowing. I was blowing. I was singing for my life. And they said, "Can this guy come up on stage?" And I think I did like a Jodeci thing. Lately or something.
Lately,
like that.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Bara, look, get numbers and things." And then Natano called. He said, the Monday they called. They said, "Look, we need you to come down to Cape Town right now." And I was on a train to Cape Town. I met Lee Downs and everybody. They took me to this. I think it was Mannenberg's. I'm not sure. I can't remember. They took me in there. There's all these guys sitting there, and they say, Lee Downs goes up on stage. He says, "This guy's gonna sing something. If you guys like it, let us know. If you don't, this is." And I did. And once again, I'm singing for my life here. And the guys stood up. I got it, and and it was nasty weather, and all these guys. They were the guys, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And they got up, kind of a standing ovation type deal, and then that's how the journey started. And those guys.
Could you feel in that moment when you're singing that song that something is changing in your life as you're singing the song?
Look, man, when I say I was singing for my life, not. I wasn't just. I was singing for my life. I'm in Wellington, and Wellington felt very far from everything. So when that opportunity was there, I wasn't gonna just sit there and hopefully when the gig is done, hopefully tap somebody on the shoulder and say, "Hey, you know what? I can also." No, I was like, "Dude, go." I was so determined. I was so determined to just do something with because I put so much into my music, man. I loved music for the longest time,
Yeah.
So, okay,
tell me.
I could feel it. To answer your question, I could feel.
You felt that. Okay.
Something is happening.
Tell me about the collaborations you did with Capello. I know you did The World Is Mine, and also the other one is Striving to Survive.
Hold Me Now. Yeah, I did. I did those with him. Like I was doing musical theater, and they started coming around. Because the guy that produced The Dawning with me, Storm. He hooked up with him, and then they started coming to the theater, and they started checking me out.
Okay.
And then we kind of just clicked, and then I ended up chilling with TKZ, and now I'm in London and all these places and stuff. And I'm like, yeah. And then just myself and Kabelo, we clicked.
Yeah.
We became very close because we did stuff, man. We spent a lot of time, together. And then on his songs, he just say, "Dude, I need you to come and sing," and then I'm on a plane and we're recording.
Amazing.
So that was that's how that came about.
A little birdie told me you were on a video call with him a few weeks back or last month, I think.
Yeah,
look, and you guys got to reconnect on a call not too long ago.
It's just amazing how God works, man. Like all these people, even Lee Downs. I saw Lee Downs now the other day for the first time in I can't tell you how many years. Yeah. I went to his shop. We went there. And we had some food there, and we just spoke. Yeah. So Kabelo, and yesterday he sent me a message for today, and it's just, I don't know, I can't explain to you. It just feels good that all these old guys, the people that played such a big part in my life, we can all have a conversation and be cool, man.
Yeah. And
it's
I think
cool
it's
for me to
for
say thank you
time.
for what you did for me. For now, because I mean, if you look at the world now, I keep saying like tomorrow isn't guaranteed. I don't know what's gonna happen. So just the fact that we're connecting now, it means everything to me. So you know how I feel. You need to know how I feel. And you need to know I appreciate what our journey. It doesn't matter what happened, but I appreciate it because all of those things brought me to this place. And maybe I'm not flying high or whatever, but like I love the person that I am now. I'm just a dad. I'm just a daddy and a husband. But I love it, and it's in the music, which is cool. And if I didn't hook up and with these guys and go through all of that,
you wouldn't be where you are now.
Yeah, I think there was a time when I said I'd be dead. Like if the dawning blew up, at some point I realized if the dawning blew up, we made millions of bucks. I don't think I'd be around.
Okay.
So I'm grateful.
Because perhaps you weren't ready to be able to handle that kind of success at that point in your life.
At that point, you think about these things, and that's why I'm just grateful first and foremost that the fact that I'm alive and I'm still here and I have my family and I get to do these things. I'm talking to you, dude. Like, you know what I mean? That's a big thing, and it's real. This is part of it. So my journey is ongoing, and it's so exciting now. I love it.
Let's set up a scenario. Your kid is older now. Let's say your kid is a teenager, 18, 19, 20, and your kid says, "Daddy, I want to do music. I want to do music now. What advice do you have?"
Look, my daughter, she's turning 3 now, but she's got music. It's there. That's there. She's actually very funny. I think she might be a musician or a comedian, but she's very funny. She's got that thing. But advice that I give to her would be, if you're gonna do music, you have to educate yourself. You need to know what it is. It's not just about singing, and you need to understand what the process entails. You need to understand what it is that you're doing, like the message that you want to put out there. There's the business side of it. It's not just about being a singer. You need to understand what it is. Like, go and study music, or go and if for a backup plan, go study music therapy or something. But make sure that you know. And my main thing is, if my child wants to be a musician, she's gonna have to play piano. If you can sit down and stick that out and focus on that, then you will have the discipline to. You know what I mean? So it's life is different now. I mean, the guys can become super successful overnight. That's a whole different ball game. But still, respect the music. My daughter knows Stevie. She knows, dude, there's music. She knows Jodeci. She knows who Casey Haley is. She knows. Amazing. I'm making sure that she knows, look, this is what these guys inspired me. So, you know what I mean? It's important that she gets where the
stuff. She understands the fundamentals of
the fundamentals.
Music. I love that.
Yes.
Orion,
I speak a lot, so you must excuse me. I don't get to talk a lot, but
Well, I'm glad you're talking to me. I'm also known to be a chatterbox, but I'm thoroughly enjoying just listening to this, because this is exactly the kind of thing we want to celebrate during Heritage Month. We want to know that for the listeners now, maybe the younger listeners who weren't around when your songs came out, I think it's important for them to understand what the environment was like, what the challenges were like, what the success was like also. I think it's all important because things are different now. It's as simple as that.
For sure.
I want to know, there are a few things happening. Another little birdie told me you're working on a movie soundtrack. You involved in something like that, as well as some new releases coming out. I know all the little birdies, as you can hear. So
there's a lot of birdies.
I wake up and I talk to the birds.
The birdies.
So tell me what's lined up for the future.
Hey man, there's a lot. You're talking about the movie. When just before COVID, became our reality, this thing. I was going to Spain. I was like, blah, blah, blah. COVID hit, and then, and then, I went on my knees, and my wife and I, and we like, you know what, Lord, what's up, man? And then we get a phone call, and then, hey, we're doing a movie. We need you to score the movie. I'm like, dude, I've never scored a movie. And now I scored the movie. I had to learn how to engineer. I've produced things before, but I've never engineered. So I had to learn how to engineer. The movie's called 2/3 of a Man. I did the soundtrack for the movie. I did all the original music and things. It's a very nice movie. Mario Ogle's in there. Van D. Johnson's in there. In there. There's Bronte Snell is in there.
Bronte Snell.
That's coming out, and it's a very nice story about this guy's journey with music. That's actually very cool. So amazing. I did that, and then I got and in that movie I've got a small part as myself. I make a cameo as myself, which is it's weird watching myself trying to be myself. I was like, it's just weird, but okay, I'm in there. And then there's another movie that I'm also in. That's also a small part. Movie called Atlantis or Atlantis.
Okay, amazing. Yeah.
And the new album, I don't even know if it's an album. It's just a bunch of music that I sit down and write. I never sat down and decided to write an album.
Yeah.
I just, as I was like doing the songs for the scoring for the movie, here and there they needed songs, but when that was done, I thought, okay, you know what? But this is how I feel, and what if something happens? And like, I want my daughter to know how, like, where my head space is at and things. How do I do that? And put it into music form, because it's important, So I just started producing and writing stuff, and now I'm sitting with a full album. It's called May Music, M-A-E. My daughter's name is Sky May, M-A-E. So it's May Music. Got a single that's actually, I think it's cool. It's something different. It's not something that I would do. It's not gangster, It's like, it's sweet. And Ibrahim Malam did the mixing and things for me. So we're doing that. And then I'm also, growing up, I had a dream team of vocalists, and that's like Richard Hala, Ferdy Buffo, Clinton Falloon. Who else is there? Richard, Ferdy, Clinton, Nigel Moko, Harley Tofi, and we've come together now, and we're working on this group project, and that's very exciting, because these guys are vocally. These guys are, they make me feel like I'm my age.
I love I'm sure it's pretty exciting, and I mean, we as much as these conversations for this month is about us talking about the roots of what is today, and the roots of how the industry was back then. I think it's also great that there are things lined up for you, and wherever we can get involved and support, if it makes sense, we will do so. And a massive thank you for the conversation on your birthday.
Thank you, man.
Happy birthday to you. Blessings coming your way.
Thank you.
Anything you want to leave us with? Any last words for the up-and-coming artists?
Look, I can't tell anybody else what to do, but I think it's important that guys out there know that for me now, the only reason I feel the way that I feel and I'm doing the stuff that I'm doing is because of God and my faith in God. I mean, like, that's the basis of everything. So I'm not worried about the future. That's the nice thing. I'm not worried about what's going to happen, because I know God's got my back, and Jesus is like, he's in our corner. So, success is relevant, but like for me, I think for the young guys out there, if you want to be successful, I think when you can get to that point where you actually you're happy, because there's a lot of guys that become successful. And I mean, I've been through it. You're up there, but you're not feeling like yourself, or there's something missing. Success is once you're doing what you're doing, and you're authentic, you yourself. You know what I mean. So try to. Back in the day, we used to say, keep it real. You know, be who you are.
That.
And if you do that, then people will like, you'll stand out, man. People be like, that guy or that girl, that person is. I work with a lot of youngsters here. I'm recording youngsters here, left, right, and center, up and coming artists, and that's my advice to them. Be yourself, keep it real, and just be respectful. Be respectful of music, be respectful of other people, be respectful of what you say, because it's easy to put something out there. Once it's out there, it's out there.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's my advice.
I love that. Keep it real, be respectful, do your research, educate yourself.
Yeah.
That's your message, Orion. Thank you so much for the conversation. I want people to connect and follow your journey further from this point. Where can they get you online?
Well, look, at the moment, Instagram, I think it's going to be the easiest. I've tried. I was on TikTok for like 5 minutes and it scared me. So there's certain things that I still have to get used to. But for now, it's going to be Instagram, and we're also busy putting things on all different platforms. You know, so as soon as all that information is out, if you go to Instagram, you'll know what's up. There's nice videos. We shot nice videos, and there's nice things that we.
And is it Orion Winter? What is the handle?
That's just my name, man.
Okay.
Orion Winter.
Love that.
I'm old school. I keep it simple, you know.
Same. Orion, thanks so much.
No,
have a great day further.
Thank you very much. This has been this is an awesome birthday. Thank you very much. Thank you.
This is Good Hope FM. This is Good Hope FM. We play the best music.